Guys, today we're gonna be looking into detail at this video y'all have been waiting for a while, and I'm gonna show you and explain how I do tattooing lines. Let's get to it. Okay, I would like to really start by the most basic thing, and I'm gonna be showing it right here. And it is, imagine this was my tattoo machine. I'm gonna be showing you how I hold the machine. A lot of people hold their machines and their pencils like this, where they rest their machine on top of their thumb. But actually, I like to rest my machine on this one right here. You can actually tell right here. I always rest my machine right here so much. I'm not flipping anybody off here. I'm just showing my among tattoo artists, we call this the money bump. A lot of people have it on this finger, I have it on this finger, and it just depends on how you rest your machine, right? You're either holding it like this, grabbing support right here, or I like to do this, so I have these two fingers and really hold it right here. Next thing I would like to clarify is the angle in which I pull lines. A lot of people like to pull their lines towards them, inwards. But if I'm holding my machine at this angle, I like to go away from me. Away from me. I don't like pulling. If the machine is in an angle, I don't like pulling that angle towards me. I feel like it's jagging on the skin. I don't like doing this, pulling down. I like pulling up and away and an angle away from my machine. That means that if I'm going in sideways, you know, I'm gonna be doing this. I'm not gonna be pulling towards, I'm gonna be pulling away. If you guys look at my other videos, you can always tell I like to use these two fingers, this finger as a support, and I'll kind of like pull my pinky in place and move and use my pinky as a support. What you're looking at live right now is some dot work, and I'm gonna make a specific video talking about dot work, but I'm gonna break it down really quick. Multiple ways to do dot work is dot by dot. Exactly what you see me doing in the video, except for the little blacks. The blacks I feel in solid. And the next technique, which I am not showing in this video, is something that's called it's more of a whip shade, where instead of doing dot by dot, you just turn the machine down, pull your needle out a lot, you grab a long stroke, and you just kind of like whip it. That whipping it is what gives you the dotting effect, but in my opinion this does not heal as well, and it is used more for like organic flows. Let's say I'm doing a flower, the inside of a petal, and I want the petal to look nice and flowy, then I will pull and create some nice flow. But when I'm doing a pattern, which is something a little bit more rigid, a little bit more straight line, solid, I like to do dot by dot. Now you know the difference between dot by dot and the pointillism. There's a next difference, which is how you do your dots. I know a lot of people like to do dot by dot, and they will actually do the dots almost in like a line. Personally, I don't like that. I'm not gonna hate on anybody, I'm just giving you guys my personal opinion. And you have to remember when you watch these videos that there's many ways to tattoo. Right, just because I am showing you guys how to do this the way that I do it, it does not mean that it is the only way, and it also does not mean that it is the best way. I'm sure there are better ways. I'm sure there are faster ways. This is just how I do it. What I would recommend is that you try multiple ways of lining, and then you decide which one is your way of lining. Now guys, it is very important to use proper equipment. If you are using some crappy needles, some shitty needles, that is not gonna work for you at the long run. A crappy needle or a Chinese needle might, I mean they're all Chinese, but a bad Chinese needle might actually work good if you're doing a small tattoo, something that you're going to be able to finish in a couple minutes. But if you are doing a multi-hour session tattoo, your needle is going to get dull and you're going to be struggling by the end of the day. So unless you want to be changing your needles and using 3 or 4 needles per tattoo, I would highly recommend a better steel. It's going to hold it's going to hold better. Another quick tip of advice that I have for you guys struggling with your lines is you want to make sure you do not have any little flints on the inside. So you're actually going to grab your cartridge, you're going to push your cartridge from the back, pull the needle out, and with your finger pushing the cartridge and the needle out, you're going to grab a clean paper towel and wipe it. Sometimes you can even actually see at the tip of the needle a little bit of a flint that gets caught in between the needles, and that can be first of all, it could be because you didn't clean the skin properly. It could be because the way that you're wiping or because of the towels that you're using are letting off a little bit of a lint that your needle picks up. So you want to make sure you keep cleaning your needle, your lint off of the tip of your needle. It's very important. So good equipment. Keep your needles clean. Find the proper way that you hold the machine. You are not sorry about that. You cannot see it here, but because it's a piece of fake skin. But another very important thing when you're pulling lines, and a lot of people struggle with, is having a good stretch on the skin. If you don't have a good stretch on the skin, you're not going to be able to pull some clean lines, especially in very stretchy areas like the ribs. Anything that's like close to the armpit area, you want to like have really nice and stretched, especially around the neck. So stretching the skin properly is very important. I'm just going to touch again on the angle of the machine. Personally, this is what I do. This is not the best way nor the only way. I hold my machine on this finger and I pull backwards. Right amount of pressure. Another important little topic I want to talk about for a second, and that is because there is no exact amount of pressure to tattoo, because the thickness of the skin changes all around the body. So some places where the skin is thicker, let's say the outside of the arm right here, right? It's like thicker skin, it's the outer shield of your arm. You're gonna have to put a little bit more pressure than if you're doing, for example, the ditch of the arm. You're gonna need a lot less pressure. So the amount of pressure that you put onto the skin is gonna be very important. So let's just do a quick recap. You wanna use proper equipment. You wanna practice a lot. You want to stretch the skin properly. You want to pay attention to the angle of your machine. You want to use the right pressure depending on the area of the skin. You want to keep your needles clean. And I'm going to give you another piece of advice really quick. You want to take breaks and don't rush. If you're feeling rushed, it's better for you to take a break, take a couple of deep breaths, and pause yourself before you fuck it up more. I think that's a very important piece of advice for anybody coming up in tattooing. Just don't push it if it's not coming out right. It's better to take your time to breathe, to do the proper research, and practice on fake skin. So yeah, guys, I hope these tips have been useful for you. I'm going to be doing another video specifically on dot work, different dot work techniques. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I have a ton more in line coming for you guys. So if you enjoy watching these videos and you've watched this one the whole way, please do not forget to comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.